What's up, dudes? Max here, and today is indeed one of the biggest days possible as a Killer Instinct fan. For many of you guys, knowing that Riptor and Cinder were kind of the two biggest characters coming out in Season 2, related to a roster that had not yet been revealed from the older games. Now, we were really excited about these characters. I think Riptor came out really damn well, and we did get to see a little bit of Cinder from the previous Hisako trailer as a tease at the end of that last one. And there was a lot of mixed reactions. This is kind of what I wanted to discuss, was the overall reaction to Cinder and my thoughts on Cinder, because a lot of people have been asking me, and I've wanted to make this video for a week, but this is the perfect time today, because a lot more information has come from Adam Icegreen over at Microsoft about the design process behind Cinder, and kind of where he's come to at this point. When I initially saw Cinder, it was a bit before you guys did, of course, because I did work on the trailer. I was a little worried about his design. I was kind of like wondering what happened to some of the key defining features of the old Cinder. It's kind of weird that he has like this mouth thing, and he has this like interesting face with these separated eyes. He looked a little alien-like and a little skinny. I was a little worried about it, but once you actually put the fire on him, he builds his body form quite a bit, and it looks pretty good. Although I think one thing that's interesting to discuss is that the voice effects and kind of the fire and all that stuff that was in the trailer was kind of like brought in just so that trailer can be done. So I'd imagine a lot of that stuff is going to get reworked when the game does come out, especially the effects on his body and things like that. But overall, I did kind of like how he was presented. He might look sort of alien-like, but he is not actually. They did also reveal sometimes in the past that Cinder is still Ben Ferris. This character still exists, even though Killer Instinct, as far as KI 2013 and KI 2014, Season 1 and Season 2, they are reboots of KI. They do things that nod back to the older games, which happens in Killer Instinct Season 1, but in terms of the overall story for these games, it is a reboot. So there will be a lot of things within story mode that are actually going to give you the idea that things went in a totally different direction than you might have thought from the story. The time traveling stuff and all that, which is why Cinder is, story-wise, a completely different character than he was in Season 1, but he still appears to have that kind of like attitude, based off his voice and things like that, and the way he acts. He's very much a dude, and by some of the screenshots we were actually seeing today, he's going to represent with that attitude, that Ben Ferris kind of cockiness, like too hot, you know, kind of cheesiness that he had from back in the day. I'm pretty sure that's going to remain with him, because that's kind of a defining staple of Cinder. Because at one point, Cinder was actually a like rival character to Glacius, and he was very alien-like, and the producers were saying that they thought that was kind of going a little bit too far away with like the reboot, and that was a little too much, and Cinder kind of got brought back to being Ben Ferris, the dude on fire, but he still has a little bit of like interesting technology all over him, which is representative of what Ultratech has done. There was some pretty interesting concepts that came a bit earlier of what Cinder's design was kind of going to be, where he has this interesting kind of gunslinger stance with the fire, how it literally is like an opposite version of Glacius in very early design. And then there's this extremely high resolution picture, which is the one that I initially saw, where I was like, whoa, he looks extremely alien with the 4 eyes on the face and the giant mouth in the middle and all this stuff. I did like the effects of the hexagons all over him, like that technology. I did think some of that looked cool, but this was the initial thing that was used for the silhouette tease, and this is actually the old design now. This is not what Cinder looks like now. This is initially what the more alien version is, with the 4 eyes and everything, and they brought it back to Cinder's evolution, where you see what his face has changed into now, and this is actually not Cinder's face. This is a mask. This is the thing we were kind of seeing in the trailer, but it looks like it's even changed from the trailer, because there's no mouth anymore, which is a big change. I think that's actually kind of important, because the mouth I thought was kind of weird. I was like, really? The mouth didn't move when he was talking, so it had to be a mask in the trailer, which is what I was thinking. And it indeed also gets removed when he goes into certain modes and you see what his face actually looks like. I think that's pretty cool, and it's honestly, I think, a much better face than what was going on before. And now we get to see what the body looks like fully. This is indeed Cinder's in-game model, but this has currently no visual effects. So this is just his base right now. So there's no fire added, there's no flame on, there's nothing like that going on with him right now. And I think this looks pretty damn good. Just by this pose, you kind of see the cockiness of the character. And I'm pretty happy with this current iteration of Cinder. It really depends on how he moves, though, if he transforms into fire and things like that. But of course, I was saying when we were talking about this initial version of Cinder from the trailer, if people are gonna like it, I was kind of iffy on some things and being a little skinny as well. But the craziest thing is that even if you don't like this version of Cinder, you can definitely bet that there's going to be a classic costume for the character, a retro, and this retro outfit is kind of going to be Cinder, like straight up old classic lava dude on fire. And we even got an image today confirming that, yep, that's exactly what's going on. This is pretty much old Cinder, kind of like nearly 99% of what you remember from the old character, and he is going to be represented with a retro costume exactly like he was from the olden days. I hope his voice is kind of similar. That'd be fantastic if they put a different type of like modulation on his voice to make it really like echoey like it was from the very first game, like he was kind of in a tin can. But either way, that's everything we know about Cinder in Killer Instinct right now, but there has not been any official gameplay revealed yet. Trust me guys, as soon as that comes out, I'll be back as soon as possible. Right now, I think Cinder is looking pretty good, but I think we need to see him running in motion with fluidity, because a lot of the times, especially with characters like Hisako, the animations of that character really show things off and are extremely impressive. And I'm only hoping that since Cinder's after Hisako, he's going to take a lot of things that they learned from that character and kind of incorporate it with effects and all this crazy stuff to get the dude on fire that we've been waiting for so long. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think of the latest Cinder design for Killer Instinct Season 2 below, and I'm looking forward to the week of this guy as much as any other. My name is Maximilian, and I'll see you next time.
Winner! Yeah! Victory!